Welcome back everybody to another episode of Direct Comparison. In today's episode, we'll be conducting a comparison between the PS4 Pro and PC version of Star Wars Battlefront 2's open beta. Remember that this is only the beta and everything you see here is subject to change upon full release. But we can still expect some of the visuals here to stay intact, and the differences here are still pretty interesting. So the first thing you'll notice is that these two versions will run at different resolutions. The PlayStation 4 Pro version of the game will run at a checkerboarded 2304 by 1296, and will occasionally downscale to 1080p to maintain steady performance. The PC version can be set to whatever resolution you want, including a full native 4K, but for the purposes of this video, I have my game set at 1440p with no dynamic scaling enabled. The PlayStation 4 Pro version maintains a steady 60 frames per second throughout gameplay, even during the most intense scenes. The PC version has an unlocked frame rate and sits at around 120 frames per second for the most part, providing a much smoother presentation. Aliasing looks practically identical in both versions of the game, with the increased resolution on PC hiding most of the jagged edges. But if we zoom in really close, we can see on some of the objects that the PC's aliasing is just a tiny bit better. Textures are surprisingly good on both versions of the game, and it's difficult to spot differences between character models. If you look at the ground textures, you'll get some much sharper edges on the tiles in this shot, but for the most part, you won't notice differences in texture quality. The game employs a sort of blur to distant objects on the PlayStation 4 to help provide a smoother image, and it's very noticeable in the outdoor sections of Theed. Lighting remains the same for both games, with only subtle differences to things like shadows and reflective surfaces. Shadows on the PlayStation 4 appear softer than on the PC version. Reflective surfaces show much greater detail on the PC version, with more of the environment being recreated in pools of water and greater detail here on the reflection of Maul's lightsaber. Water effects look about the same in both games, and this beta didn't really show off much in terms of dynamic water, so we'll have to wait to see what it's like in the full game when we get maps like Kashyyyk or Kamino. So as expected, the PC version offers superior visual quality and performance, but the PlayStation 4 Pro version still holds up surprisingly well and delivers a smooth and impressive looking experience for a fraction of the price. I hope this comparison was interesting, and if you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe for more content posted every week.